Donald Trump was walking through the bustling streets of New York City, his signature red tie swaying slightly in the breeze, surrounded by a small entourage of advisors and security. It was one of those days where everything seemed to blend together. Meetings, schedules, and the ever-present demands of business and politics. But something caught his eye that made him pause. A man sitting on the sidewalk, wrapped in a tattered blanket, clutching a cardboard sign that read, "Just trying to survive." The man looked tired, worn down by life, with a beard that had grown wild and unkempt. His hollow eyes seemed to carry the weight of years of struggle, a silent story of hardships untold. Trump stopped in his tracks, an unexpected move that even his advisors didn't anticipate. He motioned to the security team to hold back as he walked toward the man. The crowd around them began to notice. Their curiosity piqued. Some whispered. Others pulled out their phones to capture the moment. But Trump seemed unfazed by the attention as he crouched down to speak to the man. "What's your name?" he asked, his tone surprisingly gentle. "Michael," the man replied, his voice barely above a whisper. He avoided eye contact at first, but Trump's presence seemed to draw him out. "What happened, Michael? How'd you end up here?" Trump continued, genuinely interested. Michael hesitated, then began to share his story, a tale of bad luck, poor decisions and circumstances spiraling out of control. He had once had a stable job and a family, but a series of unfortunate events had left him homeless, struggling to make it through each day. As Michael spoke, Trump listened intently, nodding occasionally. He didn't interrupt, didn't brush him off, but instead gave Michael the kind of attention that many wouldn't expect from a man of his stature. When Michael finished, there was a moment of silence. "All right," Trump finally said, standing up. "We're going to change this." He turned to one of his assistants and gave clear instructions. "Get him a meal, clean clothes, and a place to stay tonight. I want to know what we can do to help him get back on his feet. Get me the yaoi details." The crowd, now larger, watched in stunned silence as Trump took out his wallet and handed Michael a wad of cash. "This is to get you started," he said. "But I don't want this to just be a handout. I want you to promise me something. You're going to use this opportunity to turn things around. Can you do that?" Michael, overwhelmed, nodded quickly, tears welling up in his eyes. "Yes, sir. I promise. Thank you. Thank you so much." Trump patted him on the shoulder and smiled. "Good. Everyone deserves a second chance. Don't waste it." As Trump walked away, the energy in the crowd shifted. Some applauded, others looked on in disbelief. The moment quickly went viral, with videos and photos flooding social media platforms. People debated whether it was a calculated move or a genuine act of kindness, but those who were there could see that it was sincere. Over the next few weeks, Trump's team followed through on his promise. They arranged temporary housing for Michael, connected him with job training programs, and helped him secure a position that matched his skills. The transformation was remarkable. Michael went from sleeping on the streets to standing on his own, 2 feet again. When asked about the incident during an interview, Trump shrugged it off. "Look, I've been blessed with success, but it's important to remember that we're all human. Sometimes all someone needs is a little help, a little hope to get back on track. If you have the ability to help, why wouldn't you?" Michael's story became an inspiration for many, a reminder that even in the toughest times, there's always a chance for redemption. It also showed a different side of Trump, a side that many didn't expect, but one that left a lasting impression. Months later, Michael sent Trump a letter, thanking him for his kindness and updating him on his progress. In the letter, he wrote, "You didn't just give me money or a place to stay, you gave me hope, and that's something I'll carry with me for the rest of my life." Trump, upon reading the letter, reportedly smiled and said, "That's what it's all about." This simple yet powerful act of kindness became one of those moments that reminded people of the impact one person can have on another's life, no matter their status or position. It was a story of humanity, of second chances, and of how even a small gesture can create ripples of change. As Michael's story gained traction, more media outlets started covering the incident, highlighting not just the act of generosity, but also the ripple effect it created. People from across the country began reaching out to Michael, offering words of encouragement, job opportunities, and resources to help him continue rebuilding his life. Michael's transformation became a beacon of hope for others facing similar struggles. He even started volunteering at local shelters, sharing his story with others who were still on the streets. "If I can make it back, so can you," he would tell them. His story wasn't just about survival, it became about resilience and paying it forward. Meanwhile, Trump's involvement in the story didn't end with that initial gesture. He quietly directed his foundation to launch a new initiative aimed at addressing homelessness and providing resources for job training and housing assistance. While critics debated his motivations, those who benefited from the program saw tangible results. Michael was later invited to a charity gala organized by the Trump Foundation. Dressed in a crisp suit, a stark contrast to the tattered clothes he once wore, he stood in front of a room filled with influential figures and shared his journey. "I'm standing here today because someone believed in me when I didn't believe in myself," Michael said, his voice steady but emotional. It's a reminder that no matter how far you fall, there's always a way back if someone gives you a chance. The audience gave him a standing ovation, and Trump, seated in the front row, smiled and nodded in approval. "Michael is proof that it's never too late to turn things around," Trump later said when addressing the crowd. "Everyone deserves a shot at redemption, and when we help each other, we make our communities stronger." The story resonated far beyond the room that night. It became a viral sensation, inspiring countless social media campaigns urging people to be the change in their communities. From small towns to big cities, individuals began stepping up to help those in need, motivated by Michael's journey and Trump's unexpected act of kindness. Over time, Michael's life continued to flourish. He secured a permanent position at a company, rented his own apartment, and even reconnected with family members he had lost touch with during his darkest times. He remained grateful for the chance he was given and committed himself to making the most of it. For Donald Trump, the event became one of those defining moments that showed a different side of him. Regardless of political opinions or public perception, the gesture demonstrated the power of humanity and the impact of taking a moment to care. It reminded the world that sometimes the smallest actions can create the biggest changes, not just for one person, but for everyone who witnesses it. In the end, the story of Donald Trump helping a homeless man wasn't just about an individual act of kindness. It became a testament to the idea that compassion and generosity can transcend status, politics, and circumstance. It was a story that reminded everyone watching that, no matter who you are, you have the power to make a difference in someone's life, and sometimes that difference can change the world. As Michael's life progressed, he began using his newfound stability and platform to advocate for others who were still struggling. He partnered with local organizations to raise awareness about homelessness, becoming a voice for those who often went unheard. His transformation wasn't just about his own recovery, it was about shining a light on a system that could do more for those in need. Michael also started speaking at schools and community centers, sharing his story of hardship and redemption. "If someone like me can come back from rock bottom, then anyone can," he'd tell the audiences. His humility and authenticity resonated deeply with people, inspiring many to reflect on their own lives and their capacity to help others. Meanwhile, Trump's foundation continued its efforts to tackle homelessness on a larger scale. The initiative expanded to include mentorship programs, skill-building workshops, and partnerships with businesses willing to provide jobs to those in need. Trump often spoke about the initiative during his appearances, emphasizing the importance of action over words. "It's not about grand speeches," he said in one interview. "It's about doing the work, rolling up your sleeves and making a difference where it matters." The story continued to make headlines, not just in the US, but globally. Media outlets framed it as a rare, humanizing moment in a world often divided by politics and ideology. The footage of Trump handing cash to Michael, combined with Michael's powerful testimony of recovery, created a narrative of hope that transcended traditional barriers. Eventually, Michael's story caught the attention of documentary filmmakers who reached out to capture his journey on film. The resulting documentary, From the Streets to Stability, A Second Chance, chronicled his life before and after that fateful encounter. It highlighted the struggles of homelessness, the importance of community support, and the unexpected ways lives can intersect. The documentary premiered at several film festivals and received widespread acclaim. At the premiere, Michael and Trump shared a brief but heartfelt moment on stage. "This man didn't just give me money, he gave me a lifeline," Michael said, gesturing toward Trump. Trump, in his usual direct style, responded, "And he took that lifeline and ran with it. That's the real story here. What Michael did with his second chance." The success of the documentary brought even more attention to the issue of homelessness, sparking debates and discussions on how society could better address the problem. Charitable donations surged, and volunteer sign-ups at shelters and aid organizations reached new heights. For Michael, life had come full circle. He now worked as an advocate full-time, traveling across the country to share his message. His bond with Trump remained strong, with the two occasionally reconnecting to discuss ways to improve the programs they had inspired. "Sometimes life surprises you," Michael said during one of his speeches. "I never thought I'd meet someone like Donald Trump, let alone have him change my life. But what I've learned is this: kindness, when given freely, can change everything." As years passed, Michael's story remained a powerful reminder of what can happen when someone decides to help another human being without hesitation. It was a story that continued to inspire, proving that even the smallest gestures can create waves of positive change. And for Trump, it became a legacy moment, a reminder that leadership isn't just about policies or power, but about the humanity we show to those around us. As the years went by, Michael's impact on the world grew larger than anyone could have imagined. He became a symbol of resilience and hope, a living testament to the power of compassion and second chances. The homeless man, who once sat unnoticed on a busy street corner, was now a respected figure in the fight against homelessness, poverty, and inequality. Michael founded an organization called Second Chances Foundation, which aimed to provide housing, employment, and emotional support to people experiencing homelessness. The foundation expanded rapidly, partnering with businesses, philanthropists, and local governments to create sustainable solutions. One of its most innovative programs offered transitional housing, where individuals could learn new skills and rebuild their confidence while preparing to re-enter the workforce. Donald Trump continued to support Michael's work, donating significant funds to the foundation and encouraging others to contribute. At one of the foundation's annual fundraising galas, Trump delivered a speech that captured the essence of the journey they had both embarked on. "Michael's story reminds us that everyone has the potential for greatness," Trump said, addressing the audience. "Sometimes all it takes is one moment of kindness, one opportunity to unlock that potential. What started as a small gesture has turned into a movement that's changing lives across the country. That's the real power of believing in people." The gala raised millions of dollars, far exceeding expectations. Attendees included celebrities, business leaders, and everyday people inspired by Michael's journey. Michael himself took the stage, his voice steady as he thanked everyone who had supported his cause. "I stand here today not because of what I've done, but because someone believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself," Michael said. "This foundation is not just about helping people survive, it's about helping them thrive. It's about showing the world that no one is beyond saving." The foundation's success led to more media coverage, and Michael became a sought-after speaker at global conferences on poverty and social justice. He worked tirelessly to dismantle the stigma surrounding homelessness, using his story to educate policymakers and inspire action. His speeches often ended with the powerful message, "Never underestimate the impact of a single moment of kindness. It can change a life, and maybe even the world." As for Trump, the experience seemed to mark a turning point in his public image. While his life remained as high profile as ever, the story of his spontaneous act of kindness became a defining moment that many referred to when discussing his legacy. Critics and supporters alike acknowledged the humanity behind his actions, recognizing that it wasn't about politics or strategy. It was simply about helping someone in need. Decades later, Michael's legacy lived on through the foundation, which had grown into an international organization. Thousands of people had been lifted out of homelessness because of the programs it offered, and Michael's story was taught in schools as an example of resilience and the transformative power of kindness. In his later years, Michael reflected on his journey with gratitude. "I never thought my life would take this path," he said during an interview. "But every step, every struggle led me to this moment. And it all started with one person taking a chance on me." The story of Donald Trump and Michael wasn't just about one man helping another. It was about the idea that small acts of generosity, when combined with determination and support, could create a ripple effect that changed countless lives. It was a story that reminded the world of the power of human connection, a story that would continue to inspire generations to come.